from the fact that rural per capita consumption grew at 3.4% per year in real terms after 2004. This is 4 times faster than the growth rate of 0.85% observed in the earlier period. The percentage of the population below the poverty line has also fallen much faster after 2004 than in the earlier period. I know many people feel that the official poverty line was too low, and an expert group has been set up to revise it. But the conclusion that the percentage below the poverty line has fallen faster will apply even if the line is raised, provided the same line is applied in the base period. Growth has also spread to the erstwhile backward states. The so-called backward states grew much faster in the 11th plan than in earlier plans. Inclusiveness is not just about income and consumption. It also involves access to essential services such as health and education and skill development, which directly improve the level of living of the weaker sections and also enable them to participate more fully in the growth process. The report gives a detailed account of the UPA's efforts in these areas through programs such as the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the Midday Meal Scheme, the ICDS, the National Rural Health Mission, the Janani Suraksha Yojana, the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, the Skill Development Mission, among others. I am happy to say that there is progress in all these areas to report. Primary school enrollment is near universal. Literacy has improved. The percentage of women accessing institutional deliveries has increased. Polio has been wiped out. These are important achievements. Of course, public debate often focuses less on what has been achieved and more on whatever is still to be done. Where access has been provided, quality is still an issue, and we need to push hard to address these issues satisfactorily. To our critics, I would only say that in many of these areas, since the glass was almost empty when we started, it will take some time before it is really full. The important point to note is that it is being filled. I must emphasize that success in this area depends crucially upon the state. I should also add that experience varies across states, and there are many states where very good progress is being made. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now turn to the third area I had mentioned, governance and delivery of programs. This covers a very wide field. It includes the assurance of safety and security for every citizen, including especially women. It includes the assurance that public services will be delivered up to specified standards and that redress can be demanded when this does not happen. It includes freedom from delays and harassment, which invariably breed graft and corruption and have to be got rid of. Finally, it includes elimination of corruption in the procurement and allocation decisions of the government. These weaknesses in governance erode trust and faith in government, and we cannot, as a people, afford such an outcome. The problems are not new, nor are they unique to India. Indeed, consciousness about these problems and the demand to remedy them has risen all over the world. This is especially so in democracies. We are the world's largest democracy, with a very free press and an increasingly active civil society movement. These are our strengths, but they do put pressure for early and decisive action on all these fronts. This sometimes leads to impatience and hasty judgment. Problems of governance have to be addressed by both the center and the states. The UPA government has taken several steps which, taken together, are improving governance and accountability. The Right to Information Act has become a key instrument of empowerment of our people. They now access information that reveals deficiencies and puts pressure on the system to take corrective action. We have introduced the Lokpal Bill, which responds to a very wide demand for a more independent institution to probe allegations of corruption. We have introduced a government procurement bill which will make the process of government procurement and contracts much more transparent, thus reducing the opportunities for corruption. We have introduced a land acquisition and rehabilitation bill to replace an old and highly unfair colonial legislation with a new bill which will be much fairer when enacted to those whose land is acquired. Much is made of problems that arose with the way scarce resources such as spectrum and mining blocks were allocated in the past, and there have been allegations of deliberate malfeasance. We have introduced more transparent systems for the future, that is, auctions rather than relying on administrative allocation. The problems with past allocations are being dealt with as they should be under the law of the land. Allegations of impropriety are being investigated and cases of wrongdoing will be punished, but we can claim credit that the root cause of the problem, which was the perceived non-transparency in the manner of allocation, has been addressed, and these problems will not arise in the future. Improving the quality of governance in a vast nation like ours is a major challenge. Both the center and the state have to act to deal with this problem. The UPA government has done more in this area than any other government. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I come to the fourth area, our relations with the world. More than 2 decades ago, I said in Parliament that the rise of India as an economic powerhouse of the world is an idea whose time had come. We have seen in these past 9 years the full implication of that idea as India has engaged with the international community as the fastest growing democracy in the world. Our improving economic performance and the talents of the Indian people have enabled us to build bridges with both developed and developing countries. We have deepened our relationship with the United States, Russia, and Europe. The initiative that we took with the United States on civil nuclear agreement has opened a new chapter in India's technological development. Our government has taken the lead in India's active participation in the Asian community building process. India is today warmly welcomed to almost every important Asian and Asia-Pacific forum. India has increased its economic and security engagement with the Indian Ocean and the Indo-Pacific region. We have strengthened our economic and defense relations with countries of West Asia and the Middle East and of East and Southeast Asia. In our immediate neighborhood, we have been able to manage some very difficult challenges to our bilateral relationship. Relations with China are showing our ability to manage difficult issues while working together in areas of convergence. I can say with some satisfaction that we have placed the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation on firmer foundation. We have increased